All right, we are live on YouTube. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here today for this very, very special show. This show is going to be the beginning of something amazing coming very, very soon here to the Coach Eli Network. And my organization, the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short. There's a lot to talk about, but I'm going to get through it in about 30 to 45 minutes, an hour max, because there's a lot going on. But before we get to all of that, first of all, let me make sure that everything is rolling smoothly. Let me make sure that the back end of YouTube is rolling well. Give me just a second here, and it looks like it is rolling well. And let me make sure that the YouTube notification has also gone out, and it looks like it just did. And let me do a sound check. Glad you could all join me here today for this very, very special show. This show is going to be the beginning of something amazing coming very, very soon here to the All right, everything seems to be rolling smoothly. All right. First things first. Okay, I think we're rolling okay. We are rolling okay. Everything seems to be rolling smoothly. There was a little glitch that happened right before I went live on my laptop, but I believe I have fixed it. If anything goes wrong, I'm sure people will let me know. Let me start off by saying I'm extremely overwhelmed, but I'm overwhelmed in a very good way. I have been waiting for this moment to make this transition for quite some time. And that transition is to more so incorporate the Coach Eli business along with my actual business name, the Genuine Networking Association, or GNA for short. Now, many of you that have been supporting Don and I for quite some time know the backstory. You know what's happened over the last year or so. You know what's also happened for the last 6 years. We've been dealing with a lot out here on YouTube. And all I've ever wanted to do was get my message out to help better people's lives, personally and professionally. I love to uplift people. I love to encourage people. I love to empower people. And I want you folks to listen to the word empower, okay? This has always been about helping people become more empowered. Now, this is also a word that's been more commonly used at female-only networking events. When I used to run networking events all over Northern California many, many years ago. I used to run my events, and I used to also attend other events. I was also invited to some women-only events. Because if you were a pretty major organizer back in the days, 5 to 10 years ago in Northern California, and you were well-known, you had a good network, even the women that ran women-only events saw a lot of value in collaborating, with you. And these women would invite me to their, very expensive paid events at no charge because I would promote their events through my network. Now, I'm going to make it very clear, people are going to still troll us despite all the great things that have happened lately. We've moved upwards and onwards and upwards, that is. But you're still going to get those people that are going to try to troll, and that's okay. We will just laugh at them for a second and move on. But I used to attend those women-only networking events, and it used to be primarily about one thing for the women. It was about empowerment because, women have been liberated over the last 55 plus years or so. And before that, women were more oppressed and they were more homemakers. And nowadays that women have been empowered to do so much more. There were many networking groups that were helping women better understand this. And I've learned so much about it. I learned so much about it back in those days that I also started a division of the GNA called the GNA Women's Mastery, where we ran women-only networking events on top of the co-ed networking events that we used to run as well. And a lot of men may ask, well, if you're going to create a women's only branch of what you do out here, are you going to do the same thing for men? Eventually, yes. Eventually, we do want to create modern man resources. I have the URLs and there's just so much to do. I mean, I do want to get that going for men. But in order to get things going with the whole organization and to get the vision started, you got to go with what's hot. You got to go with what is the most important aspect first. And I'll tell you, I've been talking with my girlfriend, Dawn, about this aspect for several months now. And, my girlfriend, Dawn's been struggling with some health issues. She's gotten a lot better and she continues to get better each and every day. Dawn says hello, by the way, and more than likely tomorrow we'll be doing a members only live stream from the chat on the couch. I'll share more about that later on this show, and probably also later on I'm going to do a Walking with Purpose live stream later on in the evening and share more about that. But I was talking about this with Dawn. And Dawn has been saying, I feel like I don't do much. I feel like I've lost my purpose. I feel like the fact that I'm no longer a nurse and, I'm no longer, my kids are older. I don't have to take care of them anymore, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I just feel like I have no purpose. And a lot of women are feeling that way, right? Even though you do have a purpose. You do have a purpose. And I've told Dawn, you help me run these shows here and you bring so much value, but it's still not good enough for her. And I understand why. I've learned to understand why. I've learned to understand why, because throughout the history of time, men have been in charge of everything, right? Men have been in charge of everything, right? And nowadays that women have risen up, they want to be in charge of something. They want to feel like they're running something, they're in charge of something, and because of what they're doing, they're making a big difference to the world. And I was struggling to figure this out with my girlfriend Dawn initially because I'm like, baby, we're doing great. We're growing the business, and we're going to figure out what happens with your seizure disorder and whether you end up going back to get an actual job in the workforce or you end up going on disability. But I told her, I said, in the meantime, you're running the business with me. And if we take this business to the next level, this could be our business to the point of where neither one of us have to work another job. This is going to be our job. And that wasn't good enough. And I started to get a little frustrated. I'm like, babe, I don't know. I'm trying to give you the world. I'm trying to get you involved here. What's going to really make the difference? And then it hit me. Dawn and many other women out there want to feel like they've created something, they're running something, and they're making a big difference. And that's why I've decided to bring back the GNA Women's Mastery. It's going to be an emotional support group for women that will help empower women to become whatever they want to become. Just like we do for both men and women here, through my coaching business and my videos and live streams out here. But we need to do something. We needed to do something to further empower the women. And this was the answer. Now, let me first of all share the history of the GNA Women's Mastery and the GNA. I started the GNA in 2011 to provide an alternative, a low-cost or no-cost, affordable alternative to business networking. So people could go out to networking events at little or no cost. Typically, our events were free, and meet other like-minded people to become power partners with, or to possibly do business together, right? So either, you create a referral base meeting other entrepreneurs and you share leads and referrals to each other through the network, or you could possibly do business together when possible, right? And then after attending some female-only empowerment networking events, and I realized how important those are to women and how it makes women feel, because what's most important to women is how they feel all the damn time. And guys, listen, you have to understand this, okay? I say this all the time, and it even offends the women at times, but I'm not trying to offend anyone. The truth of the matter is that, women are run by their emotions. They are. It's the truth of the matter. And women respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling in the present moment. Then they may reason with logic a little bit later on, right? But to women, what matters to them is how they feel right now. It doesn't matter how good you've done everything the last hour or two or day or week or month or year. It doesn't matter. You can do everything perfect for 10 years straight. And then 1 minute after your 10-year anniversary, you do something a little off and your woman's going to not be happy with you, because women's emotions are in the present moment, right? So women need something a little bit different than what men need. They need an emotional support group. They need an empowerment group. Okay? Women, from what I've learned and seen, women work best in a group fashion. Okay? And if you think about it, all the stories you've heard, even back in the days of traditionalism, what would happen during the days when the men would go out to hunt for food, right? The women would get together and have their tea parties. That's how, if you've ever heard any creators come out here and say, let's spill the tea, right? Let's spill the tea, right? On people, like with dramas. They got that phrase from the days when women would get together and have tea and talk, right? While their husbands were out hunting for food. It's the same concept. It's the same concept. But in the modern world, we don't hunt for food because we have farmers and we have machinery and we have everything that's processed and slaughtered for us and packaged, and you go to the supermarket and you get your meat. You don't have to go out there and take out the cow yourself and then skin it and then do all the work that's done for you now, right? So women work best in a group fashion. And that's what Don and I want to do. Now, in order to share a little bit more, let me show you a few things. First of all, let me switch over to the browser source because I've got my Facebook page up. And I'm going to turn off the chat here just for a second so you can see the full screen there, okay? You see there, this is my Facebook. I've had this for like the last 10 years. I need to update it with a modern version of the same thing, but I started my Facebook in 2008. And look at my banner at the top. I enjoy connecting people in person and on the digital side. Start your GNA journey today and allow us to help you. Send me a private message for more information. And down below, there's a picture of one of the networking events I used to run in San Jose at a place called the Sonoma Chicken Coop on their patio. It was wonderful. That place no longer exists. It went out of business, but it was fantastic. They had a patio where we could have over 100 people there. And we did have that before. And this is the motto of the GNA, taking high-tech and high-touch business relationships to the next level, okay? We're going to keep that the same because even though primarily we're on YouTube now, YouTube is still, the high-tech world. We're taking high-tech and high-touch business relationships to the next level. We want to get to know you online and then eventually hopefully meet you offline. And that includes people from all over the world because down the road, when it's feasible, Don and I plan on doing some traveling throughout the U.S. and all over the world and shaking hands and creating memories with you folks and creating videos with you folks and further empowering you to accomplish whatever it is that your heart's desire. Genuine Networking Association, GNA, President and Founder, Elias Melas, 3.9K friends. I had 4.7 like 7-8 years ago, but some people have dropped off over the years. I just have not really kept up with my Facebook too much. I've been on YouTube, but I'm getting back to Facebook and LinkedIn, and we're going to start, and even on Twitter, we're going to start to leverage all of this because I'm going to show you folks what I created many, many years ago for in-person networking and how we're going to use that now online. Give me a second here. So let me go ahead and turn on the chat again. So if I go here, the GNA has 3 large group pages ranging from like 1,500 members to like 3,500 members. We used to have like 5K, but some people have dropped off. It happens, right? But this right here, and I had to redo the pictures and reformat them. Okay. This is the Genuine Networking Association in Northern California. Genuine Networking Association, GNA, Women's Mastery, Mastermind Group page. Now, that's going to change to the worldwide Genuine Networking Association, GNA, Women's Mastery, Mastermind Group page. And I'm going to redo, all the banners for these pages over the next month or so. I'm just showing you folks the infrastructure, what's already been in place, things that I created along with some other great people I was working with during that time. But pretty much I did most of the work myself. I did a lot of work here. So this right here is a group page we're going to use. There's 1.5K members in there already. These are real people from all over Northern California. And all over, there are some people from out of the country and in other states as well, but primarily all the people in here are real people, primarily from Northern California, the area where I'm at, but there are some outside the area. We're going to open it up worldwide. I'm just letting you folks know. If we end up giving you access to these group pages, you're going to be connected with some of the best entrepreneurs in the world. Now, we're not talking about famous people, but we're talking about, really very good entrepreneurs that are not world famous. Not everyone's going to be world famous. Doesn't mean they're not successful. These are very successful people. And so when we add you to this group, you're going to be able to share whatever you want to share, have conversations with other women, do business when possible, right? We want to encourage, women to consider becoming an entrepreneur or at least start a side gig, because we're in a digital world now where everything is going online. So, you're going to want to at least attempt to run some kind of business down the road. We can help you figure out what that business is too. So this is going to be for women only in this section here. Excuse me. Now we also have, excuse me. We also have the Northern California GNA Mastermind group page. This is the co-ed group. We used to have over 5,000 people in it. Okay. Now, right now, we currently have 3,500 people in the group. So same as the Women's Mastery group, but this is a co-ed group. Both men and women will be in this group. Okay. There are already men and women in this group, and there are already women in the Women's Mastery group, but we're going to, anyone new that we add, men and women will be both a part of the Mastermind group page, just the regular Mastermind group page. The GNA Women's Mastery is going to be for women only. So same thing, you can post whatever you want within the rules. I mean, there are a few rules, but you can share your business and what you do, or you can share how you're feeling, or you can share whatever, as long as you're professional and respectful and mature and you're decent. No trolling is allowed. And by the way, these group pages are very, very heavily moderated. So, you have to be invited to join, and you also have to be approved to join. They are public groups, but you have to be approved to join. We want to keep these groups clean. If you become a part of these groups, there will be no trolling, no harassing, no nothing. These are very professional groups with good, down-to-earth people that are trying to accomplish something, that have either accomplished something in their life, or they're trying to accomplish something, or a combination of both. Okay? So that is that. We also have one more group, which is called the GNA Like Exchange. I started this group, the Worldwide Like Exchange. I started this group in 2013. And this is not true anymore. There used to be a Chrome script to invite your friends. You can't even invite people. You can't even add people automatically to the group. I believe you can invite people, but you can't use the script anymore to mass do it. Facebook has really locked a lot of things down. But back in those days, I was able to add anyone that I was a friend with. I could automatically add them to the group, even if they didn't want to be a part of it. And this Like Exchange group page was to help people get likes on their business pages. It's still around. We still use it. You can use it to get likes on your postings. You can share your Twitter postings. You can share, your YouTube videos. You can share whatever you want, right? And in any of these groups, we allow you to do that. But this group here was specifically made to, like a like exchange. You put yours there. Hey, like me, I like you. And it's a good way to network and get to know each other as well. And this is a co-ed group here. Okay. Now we have many other pages, and we're going to revamp them, and we're going to also use them. But just to show you a few more here. So these are group pages. We also have the GNA Women's Mastery review changes to your page. I'm not logged in as GNA, so it's telling me I can if I want to make changes. But this is the Women's Mastery business page. And these are the pages that you click like on Facebook. We have 401 likes here. These are real people. So we have the GNA Women's Mastery business page, and it has 401 likes on it, meaning 401 people that like it. And then we have the GNA overall organization business page with 1.3K likes, 1,300 likes on it. Okay. So we're going to be using all of these pages. And if you want to already go on Facebook and look up Genuine Networking Association GNA and GNA Women's Mastery, you'll find the business pages. You can like them both if you'd like, and you can comment there. But the group pages, we're going to have to invite you to them. I believe you can actually request to join, but we have to approve you. And if we don't know you, we're not going to approve you. So if you want us to get to know you, the best way to do it is to come here on YouTube and follow, the channel. Follow this channel here, Coach Eli 2, and the main channel, Coach Eli, Elias, Melas. Allow Don and I and the rest of us to get to know, like, and trust you. And then you can connect with us on Facebook or send us a Facebook Messenger. And once we verify you by voice and with your real Facebook account that you're real, we can then add you to the group. So we're opening this up to anyone, but you're going to have to do a little bit of work to prove to us you are real before we let you in, because we're not letting in any trolls or haters. This is going to be strictly a professional, good, down-to-earth, decent group of people. It's not going to be like the drama shit show on YouTube. Not at all. Give me a second here. Let me just turn this off for a second so you can see the whole thing there. All right. So that is that. Let me go back to full screen over here. We are at 27 minutes. I'm going to be on maybe another 10 or 15 minutes and then go off the air, because there's not a whole lot more to say. So how's this gonna be run? Okay. So we're gonna start off. Dawn is gonna run the GNA Women's Mastery. Okay. Dawn is going to be the main person. I'm not quite sure what her title is going to be yet. We're going to figure that out over the next day or two. And basically, she's going to be the head of the GNA Women's Mastery. And we're going to have a couple of people that are going to be working right alongside with Dawn as ambassadors. We used to call people that ran our chapters at the GNA in person, we used to call each chapter leader the lead ambassador. Okay. And then we used to call the other, people that help the lead ambassador a regular ambassador, an ambassador. Okay. We may stay true to that, or we might change how we label the leaders. But we're working on that. We're going to figure that out. But nevertheless, Dawn is going to be running this at the top. And she's also going to have a couple of people right up there with her in higher leadership roles to help her. One of them is going to be Tia, who's been a part of our network here. Tia did send me a friend request earlier today. I'm just waiting for her to verify by voice through Messenger before I accept her and then bring her in. And she's already going to be a part of it. I've also reached out to Sandra Palacio, as Sandra, I'm more than sure Sandra will be a part of it. And that's what the leadership team is going to be of the GNA Women's Mastery. The GNA Women's Mastery leadership team is going to be Dawn, and then Tia, and then more than likely, I'm sure Sandra will accept and come in. It'll be Sandra Palacio as well. Hey, Lucy, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. So How do you get involved with the GNA Women's Mastery? Okay. Again, the first thing you're going to want to do is become a channel member, at least at the $4.99 member, or at the $4.99 level here on the channel. At that point, you can send myself a friend request. Elias Melas is my name. You can go to facebook.com/Elias Melas 73. Send me a friend request. Before I accept your friend request, I will send you a message through Facebook Messenger, and you're going to have to verify by voice that you're a real person. I will also check out your profile and look to see how long you've had your Facebook profile and how much public stuff you have out there. I'm going to look to see if you're legitimate or not. And then furthermore, you're going to have to send me a voice message to verify that you are who you are. Once we verify who you are, at that point, okay, if you're a woman, we can add you to the GNA Women's Mastery private Facebook Messenger group, where you'll be able to communicate with Dawn and Tia and Sandra and other women in there regularly. Okay. Now, I'm not quite sure yet how many people we're going to allow in that group. It's probably just going to be moderators and channel members that are women. As far as the men go, if you want to join our regular co-ed behind the scenes, Facebook, group chat on Messenger. This is, the Messenger live chat where you can either type in an instant message, known as direct messaging nowadays, or you can even send voice messages, which is easier. Lucy says, I'm doing great. Had family and friends here for the 4th. Most just left today. Wonderful, wonderful. Great to hear that, Lucy. Great to hear that. So yeah, it's probably just going to be limited to channel members at the $4.99 level or greater, and moderators when it comes to the Messenger. Now, as far as the Facebook group pages, we're probably going to open those up to more so the general public. I just got a message. I got to close my Facebook because I'm starting to get messages. Let me close this. Okay. My good buddy Lewis is sending out his rounds of messages, and every time he does that, it does that ding sound. Yeah, hey, Richard. Richard, can you do me a favor, bro? Honestly, dude. I really don't want you coming in here and speaking like that, man. You don't need to come in here and tell us how many times you've had your knob polished. Honestly, dude. Good for you. Very happy for you. You don't need to be coming in here and sharing that. We want to keep this professional. Okay? Happy day 3 of the 4th of July. Yeah, come on, dude. Seriously, man. Seriously, dude. Look, if you want to talk about stuff like that, we're going to create groups like that for men down the road. And we could talk about that stuff behind the scenes, but I do not want, publicly here on my YouTube channel, having grown-ass men saying, I just got my knob polished by some chick again. I've gotten my knob polished many times. Come on, dude. No disrespect, but dude, that's not the most mature thing, right? I get it, though, dude. It makes you feel better. That's why we're going to create those groups for men down the road. Right now, we're handling the groups for women. So what's going to happen at this point is this is all happening very fast, and it's exciting. Dawn's excited. I'm excited. Tia's excited. And I'm sure when Sandra gets back to me, she'll be excited. So right now, we're getting the leadership team together. We've got a lot of the infrastructure, like I showed you folks, already in place. But it's going to kind of seem a little all over the place until we, start to clean it up a little bit. we're just letting you folks know that this is in progress and this is actually happening. And this is something I wanted to create through the GNA, my Gender Networking Association, or GNA for short, for the longest time. And it's finally getting there. And right as I'm talking, the big dog is barking at the TV. Man, I just can't get a break. So many distractions, you know. And so once that is set up, once Dawn, Tia, and oh God, hang on a second here. Give me a second. I'm watching the dog on the camera. Oh man. Okay. Once Dawn, Tia, and Sandra, who I'm more than sure will join this, get settled, we're going to start to bring more people in. And I'm going to throw pretty much the 99% of the control to them. And I'm not going to be, I'm probably going to have, actually, I do have to be in that group because Dawn is having vision issues, so she can only respond through voice messages. And so it's going to be encouraged for people to leave voice messages in there, regardless, because it's easier to communicate that way. And Dawn cannot see the regular messages as well at this point. But I'm going to relinquish like 99% control to Dawn and the ladies. Only thing I'm going to do is get the people in the group there. I'm going to do the maintenance. And I'm also going to ensure that we have no trolls or haters or anyone infiltrate, okay? You don't really hear the dog. Well, yeah, except the microphone. It's a Shure SM7B. It isolates the noise. I hear the dog, though. Trust me, I hear the dog. But yeah, I want to make it very clear that I know we just, and it's been working great. We just finally, after 6 years, finally have gotten past a lot of trolling and hating by certain groups of people out here on YouTube. And I really hope it stays that way. I think it's going to this time because there's really nowhere left to go with it. But I also know some people are probably still going to try to infiltrate what we're trying to create here. Whenever you're trying to create something great to help people, other people are going to try to destroy it for whatever reason, jealousy, hatred, or whatever, right? Okay. My job is going to be the only role I'm going to have in that women's mastery. I'm not going to listen to any messages. I'm not going to read any messages that go through there. My job is going to be like the firewall to keep out the trash, to keep out the infiltrators, to keep out the detractors, the trolls, etc. We want this to truly be a safe place for women and for men too, but especially more so in the women's mastery. That is going to be a safe place where women can communicate regularly via Facebook Messenger if you're a part of that group, or through the Facebook group pages, or other ways that we come up with. Okay? And through Facebook, you have a lot more control than you do on YouTube to block and get rid of people. And it's a lot harder to make duplicate accounts on Facebook. Now, here's another thing. At the same time, our numbers on YouTube are probably going to go down compared to where they were at, because we're not we're not defending ourselves against drama. At least I hope we don't have to do that ever again, or at least for a long time. We know down the road some other people may try to come at us, right? Lucy says, Eli, this is such a great idea for the women here. It would be great to get to join, but I'm sure you understand I've got to keep my identity safe. Well, that's fine. That's fine, Lucy. I understand that. I understand there are going to be people, there are going to be women that that want to keep their identity, anonymous. Lucy says, I'm glad you have all the protective measures in place. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that's the hard part about the internet, Lucy. For me, I'm looking to connect with people that don't have a problem sharing their identity. For other people that want to keep their identity anonymous, they can participate on YouTube like you folks have been, no problem at all. But as far as the other groups, we're using Facebook because you have to use your identity there. And we really want to, I know you're a real person and I get what you're saying. But, when it comes to working closer with us and being a part of these groups, we want to know who people are. We want to know who you really are. We want to be able to address you by your name. We also want to know that you're not trolling and you're not, creating any issues, right? But I get where you're coming from, and maybe down the road once we get bigger, maybe we'll change that. We'll see. But at this point, we got to keep it somewhat locked down or pretty locked down. Jeremy's Art Blocks. Hello, everyone. Roy Hollings, Las Vegas. Hello. How's it going, Roy? How's everyone doing today? Says Jeremy's Art Blocks. Quite well. How you doing, Jeremy? Well, like I was saying, our numbers are going to go down on YouTube. No doubt about it. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter if our numbers go down to only 10 to 15 or 20 people here in the chats. What matters is, one by one, the more and more people we get to know and join these groups, we're building our own network. Okay, we're building our own network even outside of YouTube. And we love YouTube. We want to continue being active on YouTube, and we're going to, respectfully to YouTube as well. But we're also building our own network. We're adding to a network. Wow, Lucy with the $19.99 super chat. Wow, I'm going to give you a big round of applause. Well, thank you for that, Lucy. After you mentioning the anonymous thing, that's very kind of you. I'm very happy that you're so understanding. I'm happy. Let's celebrate their 10th super on a live stream. That's your 10th super chat. Thank you so much, Lucy. Oh, man. Let me respond to you there once again. Thank you very much once again, Lucy. Have an amazing weekend. I love how you're going to respond to super chats now. You can like them. You can heart them. It's fantastic. Thank you so much, Lucy. Thank you. Yeah, we'll figure it out one day, Lucy, where we open it up. But for the time being right now, when you're starting something new, it is the real Richard. It is. That's how he's always been. I'm telling Richard, look, dude, go out and have fun. I know you're out there and you're having fun and you're meeting women and you're having fun. But, dude, you don't need to come here every single day and say, I had my knob polished by so many women, dude. I mean, that's not... Look, every guy at one point or another, including myself, used to talk like that. When I was in my teens and my early to mid 20s, yeah, I would talk like that. And I got older and I'm like, I mean, that's immature. It's like, I don't want to think of women or the act of intimacy, in that way, you know? And if we're going to talk like that, dude, we got to talk like that behind the scenes. It's not something to do publicly, man. That's all. But it's the real him, Lucy. It's the real him. Thank you again for your 1999 super chat. Greatly appreciated. But yeah, I wanted to put this out here today. I know that this stream was kind of all over the place. I showed you folks a bit of the infrastructure. I showed you folks what's already been in place for the last over 10 years while I was doing this in person. I mean, dude, if you're bald, that's cool. I'm bald too. Own it. Just, hey, I'm 50. And I've done DoorDash too. And DoorDash is not a bad job, dude, if you know how to do it the right way. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not a bad job. There are many better things you could do, but it's not, how to say this the right way. There's nothing disrespectful about it. Give me a second, folks. I'll be right back. We are back live. And we are just going to scratch it and get right back down to business. Welcome back, everybody. All right, sorry about that. Don needed my help for a second there, so I'm sorry I had to abruptly get up for a second. But I'm going to start wrapping this up in a few anyway. Once again, Lucy, thank you very much for your 1999 super chat, and thank you for being very understanding. I understand that you have to remain anonymous, and many people are going to want to remain anonymous. But as we continue to build these groups, at least initially until we, are able to sustain it at a pretty high level, allowing anonymous people into these groups, it's a potential disaster. I'm not saying you would be a disaster to let you in anonymously. We know it wouldn't be, but if we let you in, we got to let everyone in that's anonymous, and that's going to create issues. And so, we got to go either one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, folks, a lot of great things are coming. We know our numbers on YouTube are going to go down. They've already started to go down a little bit, and we're not disappointed by it. We're actually very happy to have found a good group of people that we can start working closer with, so we can all move forward together. That's been the whole purpose of the GNA, is to collaborate and have win-win scenarios. We're about win-win scenarios. We're not about ourselves. We're about everyone. Everyone wins at the GNA. And at some point, I don't know, the Coach Eli brand might be rebranded. I don't know. I might rebrand my channels here. It might all get rebranded to GNA. I don't know. Is there a possibility that I might, remove the coaching title? Possibly. That's a possibility. I'm not saying I wouldn't consider myself a coach anymore, and it wouldn't be given into anyone, or it wouldn't be degrading myself. But I'm looking at this from a branding standpoint. Before I started the coaching business, I was Elias Melas, president and founder of the January Networking Association. And I still am. But I added the coaching business in because this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to add a deeper personal development type of program through the GNA. And that's what I offer here through the channel. It's about personal development. And the GNA, our classification code has changed. We are a personal development organization. We've always taught personal development, but we were classified as a referral organization. And now I reclassified the organization to have it make more sense. We are about empowerment, encouraging people, and helping people become better people through personal development methods that we've learned and have worked for us. Myself, Don, and others that are on the leadership team. So that is that. And there are some issues on YouTube. I'm getting some issues on the back end, but I think we're still rolling okay. Anyway, we're at 53 minutes. We're at 53 minutes. Please reach out to me if you have any other questions. My email is coacheli@coacheli.com. Link is below in the description. It's also in the About section of Coach Eli 2 and the main channel. You have to access the About section from a laptop or desktop to see the email. If you're on mobile, just go in the description section. You'll see my email there, coacheli@coacheli.com. All right, I got some things to do around the house, and then I'm going to probably walk later on this afternoon. I'll share more at that point. With that being said, have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other.